Hello and welcome to the Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network, brought to you by Campbell's new Chunky Spicy Soup. It's time to get fired up. Make sure you find the Raptors Show wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe, please rate and review the program. I'm your host, Wayne Blue, back for the repeat. Linsanity has hit the Garden. Linsanity has hit studio, I actually don't know what studio this is, here at OMP. Lindsay Dunn back by popular demand. Lindsay, how you doing?
I am flipping great right now.
Yeah.
I will censor myself for this because it's pizza party time. We have 3 in a row, baby.
The Raptors have finally, this is game 58, I want to say, of the season. And we have finally won 3 games in a row. Darko made this promise back when Dennis Schroeder was in the starting lineup. Pascal Siakam was in the starting lineup. OG Anunoby was in the starting group. Those guys all gone.
And we get the pizza.
But we still get the pizza party. So, yeah, courtesy of our friends at North of Brooklyn. Shouts to Alex at North of Brooklyn, who's a friend of the program, friend of the show.
Been scarfing us down.
I think the last time the Raptors had won 2 straight, he had messaged me and was like, if the Raptors get the pizza party, Will gets free pizza for a week at North of Brooklyn. And I was like, that's fantastic. I live right between 2 North of Brooklyn, so I can just go to either one. But then the Raptors unfortunately lost the first game. Last night, they finally beat the Pacers for the 3-game win streak. And then, lo and behold, North of Brooklyn hooks up the whole office today. So
everyone's happy.
Shouts to Alex. Yeah, shouts to the slice of pizza you have literally in front of you right now.
Yeah, I'm really excited to eat this on TV. You'll be so mad. ASMR and also for radio and for podcast listeners. Let's do this, but I'm going to wait because I don't feel like having pizza in my teeth right now.
Okay.
But
all right.
Before we get to the fun of the game that was to watch last night that we watched, but the whole pizza narrative is definitely, we kind of made that up as the media. I can't remember, were you there for the presser when Darko said that, hey, this was months ago, that he promised them, if you guys won 3 games in a row, the team, he would take them out for a dinner.
That was the promise.
It was the promise. And then we're there like, hey, what about us? Let us be part of the team. I can't remember who said it, but they said, what about a pizza party for the media?
Wait, one of the reporters said that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't remember
Wasn't
who.
me, I'll tell you that much.
But I nodded for him. Yeah, I'll have pizza. Free pizza.
If you got a real club, they'll come to you. Don't worry. You don't have to ask.
Wow.
No, it's just true. Yeah, by the way, so to your point, the dinner party thing, it was originally a dinner party. It got spun into a pizza party. I think I really got to credit Raptors Twitter for this one. Raptors Twitter.
Yes. So fun right now.
I don't know which one exactly. I want to say the 6-man did this. So if it was you, shouts to you. I know you watched the show. But in any case, it became a pizza party. To the point where even after last night's win, and of course it was a really good result against the Pacers team, probably one of the Raptors' best wins of the season, Darko was actually asked extensively about pizza postgame. So let's run this clip.
I don't know anything about pizza.
Well, apparently
You can ask me.
your coaching staff was coming off talking about pizza, pizza.
So the story goes that I promised our guys early in the season that once we get 3 wins in a row, that I'm going to take them to a nice dinner. But since we have such a group of humble guys, they said, we don't need any fancy place. We can go for a pizza. But we're going to negotiate. We're going to go, but I'll treat them to dinner for sure.
Okay. Are you a pepperoni guy? What's your favorite?
My pizza is only margarita, simple Italian pizza.
So pineapple is a no-go?
No. No.
I'm with you. No to pineapple on pizza.
Derek, we're going to need that as a drop. Just Darko saying no. Yeah. We're going to need that as a drop later on. Darko has provided us a great job. So, no, honestly, I think you could tell. The vibe of the group was really strong last night. There was an open gym clip from post-game. Grady got the chain. Just the vibes were quite high. Just in general, as the Raptors defeat the Pacers 130-122. Big storyline coming out of this game. The ball movement, once again, is phenomenal. They came off a game where they had 37 assists. This time, 35 assists. Lindsay, how did you feel watching the Raptors perform last night?
I was so happy. It was such a fun game to watch, I think, from beginning to end. You mentioned the ball movement. Gary Trent Jr. again had another great defensive performance. The only couple questionable moments I had, RJ's free throws sometimes, but man, he had some hard buckets that he got yesterday. And then Jakob, I'll just start off with the one negative I had when he went down. Yeah. I did that office thing with Michael Scott where I'm like, no, God, no.
You did a Darko thing?
But yeah, much more aggressive than that. And then like Grady cutting, shooting. I think they had like 33 points off of cuts last night. Just what they were doing, and then the second unit again. I'm going with Bench Mob 2.0. Love the vibes from those guys. How they were, playing with each other. It was just fantastic. And also credit to Darko for the game that he coached yesterday. And then obviously Scotty. Like we can't talk about that game without talking about Scotty. And also 5 blocks along with his triple-double. One of those blocks on Pascal Siakam. Like there's just so many storylines that we were following along with. And then Benedict Mathurin having the most points as a Canadian player against the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, he needed to chill out.
He was just making everything.
He was shooting the worst shots possible, and they were all somehow swishing, like not even like rimming in or anything like that.
What were your thoughts? What did you like about the game? Like I just thought it was fun.
I mean, I think pretty much everything you said.
Great points.
Totally. But I think for what you're saying about the bench mob, that thing is really interesting because a couple of years ago, even the start of this season, the talk was so much when the Raptors go to the bench, it sucks. And it gets worse and worse each time you take out a starter. People were asking at the start of the season, Scotty plus bench. That was not a good group. Why are you asking Scotty to carry all these other guys that weren't able to function in that capacity? And since the trade, and obviously a ton of changes to the roster, but the second unit looks really good and cohesive, and it plays on its own. It's not just like we've had second units in the past where it's like, okay, you bring in this player and hopefully you just like hold it down for a little bit, and hopefully you just like buy some time. They play a lot of Chris and Precious running around getting offensive rebounds and kicking it back out so Fred can shoot again. Like that was a lot of bench groups, or Pascal could shoot again, right? Those guys were kind of mostly getting out of the way. This new bench group comes in with Kelly, with Grady, with Ochai, with Bruce Brown, alongside of Scotty. And I would ask you, like, is the ball movement better for the starters or for the second unit?
I don't even know. I felt the second unit just for a moment. And like, you're right, they have kind of their own identity even. I know they're within the system, but it was just so fun, you're right, to watch what they're doing. It wasn't running through those plays where they're constantly doing that. And I think there's a lot of hope. I think they showed the potential. And yesterday we spoke about this in length of like, hey, do you believe in this system? Do you believe in the play?
No, I got a do you believe question coming for you later. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, the answer is obviously I believe.
Yes, I know.
Obviously I believe, but I just think it validated me a little bit because Ochai had, I think, the best game he's had as a Raptor. Grady continuing to develop, and it's just the potential that is there. And like Bruce Brown didn't even have a great night.
No.
There were still some impactful moments. Like Gary, there were some moments like it wasn't his strongest performance, but defensively they all seemed to play along a little bit more together and believe in each other. Like we like to make stuff up, but it just felt like they were a cohesive unit through and through.
Yeah, and to your point about the second unit, the bench mob 2.0, against the Hawks when the Raptors scored 123, 18 for Grady off the bench, 14 for Ochai, 12 for Bruce Brown, 10 for Kelly. 4 guys come off the bench, they all score double digits. And it's not like any of those guys are getting their own shots, right? So, that just shows you the ball movement. And again, it gets repeated here, 18 for Dick, 13 for Ochai, 2 for Bruce, unfortunately, but then 7 for Kelly with 5 assists as well. So he was creating a decent amount of offense. Second unit, ball movement was really strong. Obviously, the starters, Scotty, we just got to – I think for Scotty, like, I finally see, like, the group playing to his strengths, right? There are centers around him that can kind of give you stability. Obviously, Kelly's more of a stretch 5 and more of a playmaker. Jakob can pass as well, but is also a bruiser and gets on for the offensive glass. So 2 different styles, but basically he doesn't have to play center. And even with the starting group, I feel like some of the responsibilities changed, right? When OG got traded, Scotty was like, all right, whoever it is, the best player, Scotty's got to guard them. So he went on that run where he was guarding John Morant, then Steph Curry, then LeBron, then Kawhi. And as you can tell based on that, he's not guarding based on position. He's just guarding based on who's the most difficult matchup. Now, the last couple of games, he's not guarding Tyrese Halliburton. He's not guarding Trae Young. He's actually guarding Pascal in this case, which is more like his own matchup. And that's where Gary has come in and really done a good job holding down that 3-and-D role that OG essentially had. Now, I don't think he's as good on defense as OG, but at least he's getting the chance to try it out. And, I mean, we had Gary Sr. on the show yesterday, but what did you make of his son's defense against the 2 point guards that we've seen in the last 2 games?
I think it's phenomenal. I think it's stand out what you're saying. And it's just like Trae Young, he wouldn't have pretty much got to double digits if he didn't make that last minute three, and he would have kept him under that. And then yesterday, and I know Tyrese, there was questions about how he was feeling yesterday or whatever he was doing. It's whatever. I thought he was fantastic defensively, but just back to Scotty for a moment. There were so many storylines surrounding him, and is he only fourth quarter Scotty? There's a question about his consistency, and that's a huge thing even post All-Star game a little bit before, that he's been consistent more throughout 4 quarters. And it's showing how deep his game is, because from 3, he hasn't been the hottest.
I mean, he was 0 for 3 last night.
Yeah,
but
I was trying to put it politely. It doesn't matter, but it showed how deep his bag actually is for this. And I think maybe some of the haters are coming around to it, or there has been growth there, and he has been more consistent. But Gary Trent Jr., the problem for me is I don't think he can do no wrong. I think that he's I was like,
wait, is Gary one of your fan favorites?
He is.
He's another media darling?
Yeah, I think he's a great person, truthfully. And I think, he puts in the work. Yeah. And a lot of times he gets a lot of hate. And sometimes the performance doesn't show through. So people just hate on him.
You're not trying to be Danielle Marshall 2.0.
I know I'm good.
No, I'm happy we didn't clip down that Danielle Marshall clip so it didn't go viral. Anyway, the New York boys, RJ, Emmanuel quickly. Yeah. I mean, they're our boys now, but they also played excellent. RJ, 24 points. The big 3 at the end there as well to push the Raptors up by double or 2 possessions. At the end there, you also saw RJ with a couple of tough and ones. I felt like him and Mathurin were going at it. What did you see from those two guys?
Absolutely. Even post-game, RJ kind of joked about it, how he's coming through the system, and he knew that he would be a great player. I think we've heard this from Canadian players or teammates that have went to different colleges or the same college, and then they play against each other in different teams. They absolutely go at each other and try to show out and be like, hey, I get the win, or I got that over you. And I felt they were. It was fun. Clearly, Benedict had a bit better game than
I mean, it was hard to replicate what, I mean, I
still can't get over it. I still can't get over the performance he had.
Those were the hardest 34 points we've seen anyone score against the Raptors. They're all pull up, double team from half court with the clock running down. I don't know. We kind of went over this yesterday just with IQ, because
I got asked a lot about this just randomly, even at Blue Jay spring training, is what do you think the potential that there could be with him in this group?
They're talking.
Yeah,
they were
talking
IQ.
Yes, they were. There were some New Yorkers there.
Got you. I thought you were gonna say it was our boy Ali Khan. So I know where his heart lies. Shouts to AK.
I love AK.
Yeah, I mean, I think for quickly, it's been interesting the last couple of games because you're seeing his assists really come down. Right, last night only 2 assists, but I think you're seeing his aggression come up. So he's looking to score. He is super aggressive in transition. We see it. I mean, he's run up the floor for some pull-up threes the last 2 games as well. He's also got those plays where he's using his energy and he's bursting from behind to steal a ball like he did in the first half. I think it was against Turner. He was trying to post up and quickly literally ran across the court and went behind him, kind of like Jose Alvarado style almost, poked the ball free and then took it the length of the floor and created something in transition. That aggressiveness from him, I think the Raptors need him to score. And he looks most comfortable when he's given that green light to score. And, of course, the efficiency matters. You want to see him get to the paint more and more. You're starting to see that a little bit, but, of course, you would love to see that rewarded with free throws as well. But, nevertheless, when he's looking to score and being aggressive, you get to see the best of him. When he's one-on-one against Miles Turner, end of the shot clock, and he's like, you know what? It's time for me to go. And he actually beats the big to the basket and finishes at the rim. That's exactly what you want to see from him. And that, I think, honestly, that's where Scotty's skill set comes in because he can absorb a lot more of the playmaking. For the starting lineup, he's not actually scoring that much, right? When he's with the starters, RJ scores more, quickly scores more when he's with the starters. But he's able to set all these guys up in a way that I think really plays into his overall skill set. I think that's a big reason why, with quickly looking to score more, Scotty's assists have gone up to that triple-double level.
I'm ready for the believe question now.
Yeah, okay, let's get to it because clearly we're all very excited. Jakob.
Yeah, you have.
Jakob, please stay with us, all right?
Please stay with, honestly, because I think they're 2-9 without him. I don't know. When you saw that, what was your reaction?
My reaction was just man, that was a nothing play. There was nothing even in that play, It wasn't he landed on someone's ankle or anything like that. He just kind of rolled it a little bit. So hopefully he's okay. Darko kind of said that he's probably going to be okay, but I don't know. The last one we saw, he rolled his ankle just catching a pass from him and Pascal, one for the same ball off the baseline inbound. And yeah, he was out for like 3 weeks. So I don't know. Maybe Jonte Porter comes back up.
You love Jonte Porter.
Yeah. I love Jonte Porter. Jonte Porter. We actually have an idea with Jonte coming up in the next segment. But
I'm excited for that.
yeah. Okay. So I wanted to ask you, Lindsay, Linsanity, where are you on the "Do you still believe" meter right now after seeing that game last night? I feel like last night the fan base united in this euphoria over pizza, seeing a million memes, everything like that. And I actually thought for the first time all year, everyone was just in agreement that we wanted to see this young group grow and succeed, and they did that. So the fan base was actually united after last night for the first time all season. Where are you on the "Do you still believe" meter? Give me like out of 10.
That's a tough question because yesterday I was talking about how I pretty much think they're going to go all the way to the finals. And
Okay,
so
all
then
right,
after
all right.
yesterday,
I
you
gotta
know, they have
recalibrate the meter.
got to recalibrate. So out of 10, like 4,963 out of 10 is where my believe meter is. I love
Wow.
this core. I think they're great.
Really?
There's so much potential for them.
Okay.
You never know, like as bad as it sounds, an injury on another team or they got a
Sure.
hot streak where they could go and where they can build. So I don't know where it's going to go. Do I truly believe it could be a deep run? Not really, but in my heart, absolutely. Let's do this.
So can we have like a "We Believe Raptors" type of season? Is that what we're like? The best case scenario, right? There's like 24 more games the rest of the way. What's the best case scenario for the Raptors? That's realistic. I mean, I don't know about going to the finals, but
I like playing.
playing.
I think that's
okay.
realistic. Do you not think it's?
No,
or
I mean
no?
that's fine. You could be in the play-in, but do you
Play-in
think
for
they have
what?
a chance to win through the play-in and actually make the playoffs? Because I mean, like, let's say for example you make it as the 8th seed or the 7th seed, you're facing right now Boston in the 1 seed. I don't really want to see a Raptor series against Boston. No offense.
I don't either.
Cleveland maybe more so. I feel like we played Cleveland better, certainly than Boston. Boston, the Raptors just not even close to. But
No.
yeah. So the best case scenario is like you get in the play-in and then you get up to 7 and you play Cleveland or I don't know, New York or something.
Yeah.
I guess New York's also sliding a little bit.
And then it's the experience, especially of the young guys getting minutes or being in a playoff series, even if they're not getting those minutes. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And what I was most excited about yesterday is because I knew coming in today, you were going to be so happy about the squad.
Oh, yeah.
You believe. Where's your believe-a-meter? Because I think you're
Where's my
minus
believe meter?
453 yesterday. So out of 10,
No,
where's your belief?
hold on.
I'm just bugging you.
We both picked the Raptors to win last night. Even though the Raptors were 6-point underdogs, we were like, no, let's just pick the Raptors. I think we picked the over as well. So, I only have to mention when we're right, not when we're wrong. Like when I said Brooklyn might beat the Raptors and they lost by 30. Let's just move past that. But where am I on the belief meter? Honestly, to me, I've been consistent on this. The results don't necessarily matter as much to me, but I want to see good process and I want to see the young guys find a way and find an identity to win. And I think on that front, my feeling is very high on that group. Like, whatever, the amount of losses they've already racked up this season, that's going to set them back in the standings. So I'm not expecting to win a championship this year. It doesn't necessarily matter to me. Like, I don't really particularly even want to see a 1-8 matchup against Boston, like I just said. But what matters to me is these young guys find a way to play with each other. And for Grady to come on strong the way he is right now is giving me so much life. Ochai is really slotting in, and he's playing really well. Scotty, most importantly, the whole season has been about Scotty. And they finally made the whole team about him in his identity, molded in his image, basically, And, you see now the results where he's giving you triple doubles. That's awesome.
Scotty Barnes is all-star.
I mean, honestly, when are we gonna make all NBA campaigns? Because that's the next stop in this propaganda tour. But seriously, you are seeing a path forward. You are seeing Quickly and RJ immediately step in and they can play. So it's really just about the excitement for next year, right? Because the more they show you this year, the more of a chance next year where it's maybe they're in the play-in, but hopefully they're actually in the top half of the conference if you can get there. And it's going to take a couple of steps, but I don't know. The fact that they had 37 assists the other night, 35 tonight, it's that's just regular for them now. The ball movement is beautiful.
It's amazing. It's so beautiful to watch. It's magic. And that's the thing, we can look at the wins and losses, but that's the annoying thing that I find about me every single game, like there's such a positive one, at least positive about a player that's coming out of it that you're like, okay, we can see how that develops next time.
You and Darko would really vibe, I feel
You know what? I would love to go to a rave with Darko after seeing some of his post-game open gym clips of him being like, let's go with the chain. Can you imagine him with glow sticks just with like some techno music? I feel like he would be a vibe.
Darko gone off of 8 espresso martinis.
Yeah. Wait, I've never had one. So can you imagine? And like, I don't drink coffee. Can you imagine me hanging out with Darko, having like one coffee, like regular coffee?
No,
that would be next level.
No, actually,
I'd be arrested.
I'd be worried for Darko.
I'd be worried for everyone. Like I'm already bouncing off the walls, and I've only had water today.
Yeah, earlier today in the office. And by the way, when you first came in, I was like, how's your day been so far? Whatever. Because, this is the first thing I've done today was just come to the show. And it's probably going to be the last thing before I go to play basketball at night. For you, what's been your schedule so far Lindsay Dunn?
I did a couple Zoom interviews. I did 2 in-person interviews. I was at Leafs practice, and then we have a 24/7 channel, if you don't know, for City News. And I did a live hit with one of my favorite coworkers, Melissa Duggan, about the Leafs winning streak. And then I came here, and then after this, I'm going to go back and go live from the Leafs game. Yes.
You're literally going to be, as soon as the show ends at 3:55, you are instantly going to be ferried off into a production van.
But I'm here now, and we're excited to talk about Darko and glow sticks.
Yeah. Once your day ends, so I'm realizing that this is the most relaxing part of your whole day.
Oh yeah, actually. I'm so excited for this. Like just to talk hoops, we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. I got to be me.
Yeah.
And my day is probably going to end around 1 a.m. and then start around 5:36. We'll see.
Wow.
Nothing wrong with that. People got to work. I'm just talking sports.
I think there's something wrong with that, quite frankly. The work-life balance, maybe you could use a vacation, I guess.
I did. I was just in Dunedin, Florida for Blue Jays spring training.
That's work. That is not vacation. That is work. That is not work in Toronto and at the office or at Scotiabank, but that is work.
It was a break.
You will, yeah. Well, you know what? Since we're on the subject of do you still believe? It's time now for the spicy take of the day, brought to you by New Chunky Spicy Soup. Are you ready to get fired up? Okay, so this is my spicy take for the week. The Raptors are actually the only team in the East with nothing to lose. And we already have gone through the rebuild. We've already done the heartbreak, broke up. Now we're in kind of a dating phase, really. You know what I mean? Like we got rid of the previous things, wasn't working out. You're kind of in a dating phase. The pick is already out of our hands. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, even if the Raptors tried their very, very best to tank, it's still like you can't even get yourself better than like a 50-50 chance at that pick. And the pick, so you know what? That's already decided. That's part of the past. You got to whatever, right? We're the only team with no pressure. When you think about it, teams ahead of Toronto right now, the Atlanta Hawks, looks like they're going to split the guards. Trae Young's injured. And quite frankly, all the talk is, when are they going to rebuild? Because they're also owed they've already given up some picks in the future. It seems like it's not working out. I think the stat was that over their last 1,500 games, they're a perfect 750 for 750. They have 750 wins, 750 losses for the last 1,500 games for the Atlanta Hawks franchise. The Brooklyn Nets, they're just depressing in general. We saw them come in, okay? They're a depressing team. They got very little spacing. I'm not really sure what they want to do with that group. They also have some injuries in and out. They got to change the coach. I don't know. To be honest, nobody's checking for the Brooklyn Nets, okay? The Chicago Bulls, not only are they depressing, but they're also more banged up than the Raptors. They got multiple starters out with injuries. There's also a lot of talk about, are they going to rebuild? Are they going to move on from Zach LaVine, who's obviously out for a long time? Are they going to re-sign DeMar DeRozan, recommit to this current group? They were like, we can't even trade Andre Drummond at the trade deadline. That's how much we just never want to make trades. Alex Caruso is there as a hostage. So they're depressing.
I'm loving this. Keep going.
Indiana and Miami have both made win-now trades for this season. Indiana obviously getting Pascal Siakam. Miami getting Terry Rozier, who I hope is back from injury because he looked like he really hurt himself bad. But in any case, they really need to win this year. And only one of those two are actually going to even avoid the play-in because there's a lot of other slots ahead of them as well. So there's a lot of pressure on those teams to win. Miami, they're not going to be satisfied unless they get to the finals. And honestly, even if they get there, they're probably going to want to win it because they just lost the last two. So there's a lot of pressure there. The team is old. And then Indiana, honestly, we saw Indiana last night. How are they going to look in a playoff series? They don't help each other defensively. They play this like really high up-tempo basketball, and I like a lot of it. Indiana's been my like second league pass darling besides the Raptors.
It's been the first time in many years watching that team. It's actually been enjoyable and
Sure.
to watch the Pacers.
It's enjoyable to watch the Pacers. They're fun.
But
it's like a little carnival game that they play. They play like a carnival basketball. But like when they get to the playoffs, things grind down. Is Halliburton healthy? I mean, how are you not concerned if you're a Pacers fan looking at Halliburton last night? With all due respect to Gary's defense, no all-star starter should be giving you 2 of 11. Right. And clearly he's not physically right. It seems like he wants to force himself to play more and more games so he can make 65 games and hit Supermax qualification. And honestly, he's that level of player. But you're telling me the player's going to play injured for the next 2 months before the playoffs, before the first time he gets to the playoffs? So anyway, my point is those teams ahead of the Raptors all got their own things going on. The Raptors, we actually just kind of like got rid of our own problems and just said, you know what, the previous thing wasn't working. Let's try something new. New coach, new roster, new identity. We lost the pick. So what? We're just rolling with it. That's my spicy take. The Raptors are the only team in the East with nothing to lose.
I don't think that's that spicy, but I really loved you talking about how depressing every team is. And then I was like, okay.
You don't want to hear the bull show with Will Lou, all right? It'll be terrible.
And then we add into the fact that, they also have a pizza party, so the vibes are fantastic around the Raptors. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens for the rest of the season and in the off season with them. But I got distracted for a moment because you said how they're kind of in the dating phase. Yeah. And I was like, what were you like as somebody in the dating phase?
Oh, goodness.
Was it depressing?
It was totally depressing.
You had nothing to lose in that series.
I definitely had nothing to lose, but I don't know. I should have
FaceTime your girlfriend and get her on.
I've actually never gone through a phase, really, where I've just like been single and like just looking to date kind of thing. I've just like been in long-term relationships, generally speaking. I'm one of those like stability over everything people. Yeah. What about you, Lindsay?
No comment. Been with my husband. I'm going to go with for 10 years now.
Oh, congrats.
Then before that, I was engaged to somebody else, so I was with them long term. That's. Do you want to spill the tea? Because it's not happening. That's my spicy take for the day.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I like you, but no.
Wow, you've opened this can of. I was going to say a can of worms, but I don't.
Can of spicy chicken noodle soup.
You've totally opened the can of soup.
I'm so happy with that. I still just to kind of take in you going through all of their teams. Like they're depressing.
They are
depressing.
Up. Yeah. No, I mean, Miami and Indiana, right, like they're happy, but like if they have a bad playoffs, like if either of those teams lose in the playoffs or one of them's going to maybe even not make it out to play in, but who knows? If they don't win after the first round, like they're going to feel pretty depressed. If you're Indiana and you don't make out the first round, and now you got to commit long-term to Pascal and you have your picks outgoing, you might feel a little bit like hesitancy. Like you're still going to do it. You're still going to commit, but you're like, and then Miami.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that team all season. There's been some wild things and storylines coming out of there, but like the moves that they made, is that going to get them any further? Probably not. And like the disappointment, because last
Miami
year.
doesn't make sense. Like Caleb Martin will just like randomly become like Jaylen Brown. Like, cool.
It never makes sense. But like them going to the finals last year did not make sense, but it happened. They had a crazy run. So I was like, hey, Raptors can have a crazy run against Boston too, just for you, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Derek's on fire today.
Derek's upstairs with a mouthful of North Brooklyn pizza, just clicking 80 buttons, man.
Wham,
wham. Okay, you want to take a break?
No, but we might as well. But I will say that I did mention to you about how going into today, I just knew you're going to be really happy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm happy to see you happy and not depressed about the Raptors today, because clearly every other team you think is depressing.
There's a lot of depressing teams in the league. You got 55 games in.
What team are you excited for?
What team am I excited for?
If you want to take a break after it. I actually am
Let me
curious.
look
I've
at the
never talked
standings.
to you about this.
You know, I got a lot of hater energy in me. It's the way I was raised. To be clear, it is the way I was raised. All right. No, seriously, I was raised by a hater. It is what it is. You can totally tell.
Do we want to go to therapy right now?
Who am I excited for? If I'm Cleveland, I'm pretty excited. I just had a run where I won 16 of 17. And I got a young group. Hopefully re-sign Donovan Mitchell this year. I'm pretty excited. New York, I'm definitely excited. My guys are injured right now. They're cheating their way into wins over the Pistons last night. I'm always excited when you cheat the refs. Yeah, I'm yelling bing bong. Like, you know what? They're sliding a little bit, but like generally speaking, New York's going in the right direction. Philadelphia, you can't be excited because they.
Do you hate on the Western Conference too?
They're farther away, so no. Minnesota, I'm very excited. If I'm a Minnesota fan, excitement is like 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
This is like the best season I've had in franchise history, basically, outside of like maybe one of those KG seasons, right? When he won MVP. OKC, I'm pretty damn excited as well, but also it's OKC. Like if you're not excited for the Thunder, there's nothing else for you to do.
No.
You better love country music, which we will talk about later in this
Stick
program.
around. You do not want to miss that.
Yeah, Denver, I'm pretty hyped. I mean, we're the defending champions. We got our whole roster basically, minus Bruce Brown. I'm feeling confident. The Clippers, I'm feeling good about it, although they seem to be slowing down just a little bit. A couple inconsistent results of late, but generally speaking, I'm pretty excited. Phoenix, I get free TV, so pretty excited about that. Let's be honest. New Orleans, I'm excited too. So yeah, I feel like actually mostly the teams out west are more exciting than the ones in the east. But yeah.
You think Cleveland's cool?
Yeah, you think Cleveland's cool? I think Cleveland might be cool.
Cleveland's cool. Wow, that was a roller coaster of a ride in the last 5 minutes with you.
Well,
I'm just going back to you being raised by haters, and we can talk about that during the break.
It's more like one hater. The other one is more kind of hands off.
And
So I do have a chill side.
Let's go to break.
Yeah, we're going to go to that break. See, I offered you the break and you said no, and this is what happened. So anyway, I've been your host, Willow. You've been listening to The Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network, brought to you by Campbell's new Chunky Spicy Soup. When we come back, let's talk about Ochai Agbaji. Welcome back to The Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. I'm your host, Wayne Liu. Linsanity continues. Lindsay Dunn of City News remains with us today on the program. Lindsay, again, you have requested music that won't not make it into the actual podcast, but if you're listening live or if you're watching live, you would have heard that. What would we have heard, Lindsay? What was that?
I don't know. I didn't know I suggested
Wait, that wasn't Chris Webber? Or that what?
I didn't really hear. I was just kind of watching you dance and thinking how you have unique dance moves, and I was trying to mimic it. Was that Chris Webber?
I don't know, to be honest.
No, wow.
It was Chris Cross.
Wow.
Got you wrong,
Yeah,
Chris.
I
Wow.
just was sorry. I was so
Sorry.
distracted. But can you show like people listening? They don't really like the elbow bend, bop. I'm not.
I think you actually got it. That's actually pretty
I nailed
close.
it. Great song selection.
By the way, have you seen the movie Hitch?
Yes. Are you saying I'm like Kevin James's character?
No. But when Will Smith teaches him just to do the 1-2 1-2, like that's largely what I try to stick to. I'm not very ambitious when it comes to moving.
Okay, well then in that case, you nailed that dance.
Thank you.
You just did a couple moments ago.
Thank you. If I do drink enough soju, the Q-tip will come out. That's the movie Hitch. I love that movie. It's so good.
It's so good.
Nothing related to Hitch, but Lindsay, you did do an interview with Ochai Agbaji that we are going to run on this clip. I love that you've come to the show the past 2 days with interviews that you've done. Yesterday, you did one with Bruce Brown. That was an awesome interview. What can we expect out of this one with Ochai?
I don't know if we can expect the same energy. I'll just kind of give the backstory to this.
All right.
I did the interview at 11 p.m. like a couple months ago or a month and change ago.
Yeah.
And this was...
You know how many people want to interview Ochai at 11 p.m.?
Well, anyways, I had a really long day. And like full disclosure, I didn't know really anything about him or heard of him because I wasn't paying a lot of attention to the Utah Jazz's bench.
Fair.
And like going into it, I researched, saw his game, and then like honestly, when he signed with the Raptors, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of potential with this kid. But I didn't know a lot about it. This was for a project in the USA that I was interviewing him about, and it was kind of a little bit about basketball, but more so to get to know the personalities and for the players that people don't know a lot about. So honestly, I found out like he's a grill master. He's trying to learn about, behind the scenes of the movie industry, like the camera work and all that other thing, stuff like that. He loves Egyptian art. He has a bunch of Egyptian like tattoos, stuff like that. Okay. That part is not in here because let me tell you, it was 46 minutes long, which you're right. Some people would have loved talking to him that long.
Yeah.
But here's the Coles notes. It starts off, I ask him about a play that happened in his rookie year, because if you've had the chance to, listen to any interviews with Ochai, or you look at him in the court, he's smiling. He's got a really friendly personality. He's a nice guy. Yeah. And have not met him yet. So hi, Ochai. Welcome to Toronto.
I mean, you guys did a virtual interview for 46 minutes. It's fine.
So like if he doesn't remember somebody that interviewed him for 46 minutes, get on out. But
wow. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
You're
but
cut.
This is what happened when I asked him a little bit about that play that happened that was a first for his career.
Okay. All right. Without further ado, this is a part of Lindsay's interview with Ochai Agbaji.
I feel like you can't get fined talking about this anymore because it happened last season. I'm not sure if you know where I'm going with this, but It was your first game ejection. I think your only game ejection. What were the next 48 hours like for you? And is this something that your friends and family send you a meme of you every once in a while?
Yeah, well, okay. So the thing with that is, usually I'm not the type of player to show my rage or aggression or anything like that. So a lot of people thought that I had just thrown the ball like wrong. I just threw the ball, and he no, but I was actually throwing the ball at the ref because I was angry. So, but people have, people are always like getting that mixed up because, like I said, I'm just a nice person, and my tempers. I usually never let them get the best of me. So, just in that moment, I had enough, and but it was funny.
Okay, I was not expecting that answer. Honestly, I thought you were just tossing the ball back to the ref, and I'm going to stick to that. I really didn't know that that's not what the case was. But your nice guy reputation, like this is in high school, your time with Kansas, your time in the NBA. I need to know, have you ever trash talked to anybody or even tried to?
No, that's not a that's not my game. I mean, people can trash talk to me. I can just kind of brush it off, but I'm never the one that's saying anything back because I would hate to. My biggest thing is just trash talk and you don't back it up. Then that just makes you look way worse. So I always like to just be silent and just be silent killer, silent assassin, and just let my game do the talking.
Silent assassin. I like that. But seriously, have you ever tried to trash talk somebody? Because I feel like you would be like, hey, bud, that wasn't a great shot.
No.
Well, you can start there.
Yeah, I could start there, but I mean, there's some instances I'm like, oh yeah, that's off, or like when someone shoots it, it's like it's coming off, but that's about the most trash talk I do.
That isn't even trash talk. That's you just calling the game. Okay, I'm gonna call you Mr. Nice Guy from now on. I talk more trash than you do, but you're now in your second year, like I mentioned. What has changed for you kind of away from the actual game that you're like, thank God I don't have to do this anymore. I'm not a rookie.
Um, yeah, when it comes to the plane rides and having to get for the vets on the team, that's something I don't miss. Or also just getting towels after practices and games. I don't miss that. But now I'm like looking towards the rookies to give me my towel because I'm like, all right, I did my time. You guys got to do yours. But it comes down to a respect thing. I think that builds a lot of trust and um, camaraderie, by having that task for the rookies.
Yeah, okay. I can see how it would be great to not be a rookie anymore. But when you were drafted, I'm pretty sure we have on record saying how, with your first NBA paycheck, you were going to buy some equipment to make beats. Maybe some people that are listening, they don't know you're very musical, you like making beats on the road, and you have for a while. Did you actually spend your first NBA paycheck on that?
No, I have not.
Wait, are you saying you haven't got paid yet, or you're still just waiting to do it?
I've gotten paid. I just haven't spent it on anything crazy. Okay, I guess so, yeah. I got new speakers.
Okay, speakers, I'll accept that. That's kind of along that line. Now, you started making beats and rapping alongside them back in, I think, elementary school with your sister or middle school. Do you still have those tracks? And what are your skills like?
No, I do not have those tracks, and my skills. I still like to freestyle with my friends from time to time, but I'm not really laying anything on the track and like putting it out there. Like that's just not me. But I love to freestyle when I'm in a closed setting.
In closed settings, hold on. Are you telling me there's no chance you're going to put out a record like Dame or KD or even Victor Oladipo?
No, no, that's not me. Sorry.
Man, breaking hearts around the world right now. One thing I've noticed about you, either compared to other players in the NBA or just life in general, you are not somebody that is constantly on social media posting every 15 seconds about your life. But when you do go on, how wild are your DMs? Like, is it just a bunch of people talking to themselves all day, every day?
Basically, yeah. I mean, I don't like. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like I remember getting into college and like social media was like big, and I was into it and like posting and doing all this stuff. But now, like, obviously going through 4 years of college and now being in the NBA, and yeah, it's a part of my brand. But obviously, I believe that the core, everything on the court, is more important than anything in social media going on social media. But yeah, there's a bunch of DMs I actually don't look at them. Like I don't read them, look at them, because they can be weird stuff, some like thirsty stuff. There's negative stuff. There's like people bashing on you, people giving you props. So it's like you get a whole mixture of people that don't even know you just kind of coming at you, really boldly. So it's like I just kind of see it that way.
All right. A lot of follow-up questions for that one.
All right.
But number one beginning was, where was Ochai when he did this interview? Because he looked like he was like in the sewers with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the background. That was going on. What was he?
I actually don't know.
Oh, okay.
I just did the interview and like
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is your
There's
spot
just pipes?
because there's just pipes like
Pipes and brick wall behind
I've
him.
interviewed people where I've been in like the basement of the Scotiabank Arena in like a
Okay.
security closet. So, and they don't ask me where I am. I think it's just this unwritten rule. When you're on Zoom, you just ignore what's ever behind you.
That's that's
That's
fair.
what I do.
That's fair.
And
You do
then-
have your go-to Zoom setup. I've clocked your game is the wall of records.
Yeah, that wasn't
That's
even like
typically
a
what you do.
planned thing. It's just that's where a table is in my shoebox apartment, and all
Okay.
of, and I listen to those records every day. I like.
When do you
one
have time
on-
to listen to those records? You just told me you worked 25 hours today.
Yeah, but at the 26th hour, when I actually like shower and don't want to like stink,
put on a
I
record
put
and
on a
shower?
record
That's
and
wild.
This, and then like you're
All
getting
right.
ready to. They set the vibes for the day. They
Yeah.
set my mood, but it's just unintentional. It just happens to be that's there. My table's there, and I'm too lazy to set up another space.
Mm.
But it works. But yeah,
No, it's
so
nice.
I don't know where he is. We can say he was hanging out with the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
That is where Ochai Agbaji was.
They were having their own pizza party. You know what? Another thing, so you mentioned you guys were talking about trash talk,
Mhm.
and you
Oh,
gave
no.
your example of trash talk, and I quote, "Hey, bud, that wasn't a great shot." So, number one, was this just a Saskatchewan coming out of you? And number two, like, what does your actual trash talk sound like? Because I know you got something better than "Hey, bud." "Hey,
I
bud"
don't
is
know if
wild.
it shows how red my face is for those watching. So, man,
That's the
it's
Canadian version
do
of
I
Hey
want,
Jude.
like,
Hey,
to give-
bud.
The honest answer is like a sad answer, and I'll skip over it real fast. Is
Uh-huh.
any you're not gonna like this, but
No, go ahead.
anytime I interview like an athlete or anybody that is the opposite sex,
Mhm.
I will always get an email being like, "Oh, you're flirting with them" or whatever. So that's why
okay.
I
Alright.
call them bud or kids. So it just sets the tone that
Nice.
no, I was just treating them like, hey, we are just buddies. I'm just
Mhm.
interviewing them like anybody else.
Got you.
But when I do trash talk, I was spicy when I play basketball or any sport. Like I'm very competitive.
Okay, hold on. Take me through your hoop career.
Well,
Give me your hoop. Give me your
Knights
track
of
record.
Columbus free throw champion.
Oh,
Yeah. That
how many in a row?
Just one. But I made
What?
made it to the finals multiple years. And like this is just something that would happen where you'd shoot free throws and you compete against different kids in the
Okay.
city. And then
All
like
right.
city finals we got to. We had some national stuff, or not national, sorry, provincial stuff. And then fun fact, I have a bazillion concussions, which a lot of people know about. I
Oh,
think I'm at
wow.
14 now. I'm just actually
That's
recovering
terrifying.
from one. I know.
What?
And
Oh my
I
God.
and my knees are terrible. So like
Right,
the
right.
career ended quickly. Like
So we're not inviting you to the next
no,
U
you
of T
could.
run.
I would school you and trash talk you so bad that you will
Really?
cry. Like I was
Oh,
taking it
okay.
easy on Ochai because he has such a nice guy reputation.
Hey,
but, like,
bud, that wasn't
hey,
a great
bud,
shot.
That wasn't a great shot, hey?
Hey,
ya
bud, it's
hoser.
incredible.
I saw your face, like, and it's like also the
Oh,
thing because
man.
I'm working for a company in the States that
Yeah.
like they don't know like I'm always crazy time with my energy. I'm like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sometimes I'll throw at stuff, and
Mhm.
it's like, what? That's just what happened in that moment, and I feel like that's what he would say. And pretty much what he said was trash talk, was just him calling the game. So I wasn't
Yeah.
that off for the record.
Right.
Come at
They're like, you
Yeah.
shouldn't drop on that pick and roll.
Yeah.
I'm a
Excuse
pull-up
me.
threat.
Yeah. Your form doesn't look great.
That would actually be better trash talk than what he said. You also asked him about what was in his DMs, which is wild. I'm
just-
happy that you did that because I think a lot of people are very curious.
Well, in general, just with athletes, I'm curious because, like, I have a couple friends that, like, female hockey players or basketball players or whatever, softball players. And even my own DMs, I'm like, just little old me, they are crazy. They're either hateful or just wild things people are sending. And there's a couple NBA players that once, like, just scrolled to show me. They're like, I don't check this. And he doesn't post a lot. Like, that's the thing
Right.
is, there are players that they do post like every day. He just doesn't. So I was curious why. And then, like, what is it when you go on there? And then, because I wasn't asking before I think the reaction a lot of people which is when he went to say like there's a lot of thirsty DMs, but it was just like the hate of back and forth of people just doing whatever. Like, wow, people are just living in there talking to themselves.
Wow. If only the feedback in those DMs were as nice as the feedback that you've received from your first appearance, because it is now time for a sudden performance review. So we had you on the program yesterday. And, I posted after the show, I was like, the energy, the show was incredible. Thanks to Lindsay for joining us on the show. And you already told us yesterday, you don't check social media, so I'm checking it for you right now.
Oh, no.
The reviews are in. Incredible show today. She's always delivering great episodes with y'all. Amazing show, Lindsay. So much fun. You guys are great and funny together. Just heard the intro. Friends like Lindsay. We might need an Alex intervention. Just watch out for those black SUVs. Another one here. Will, not going to lie, the three of you, Blake, Alex, was hilarious. Many laughs had, but I got to say, you could use your magical powers. We got to get Lindsay on the Raptors show more often. So it goes on with this for quite a bit. I'm not going to lie. I mean, there's also a lot of love for Gary Trent Sr., of course, TV magic, the TV gold. Just get ready to have the cuts button ready on hold. I even saw we have a...
He needs to listen to my trash talk and add bud in there instead of the F word.
Yeah. If I see Danielle Marshall, that bud.
That bud? I'm going to give him a high five and tell him I didn't like what he said. But in all seriousness, this is just me trying to ignore what you're doing, because if people are listening, my face is bright red. Like I just broke out in a sweat. You
need to put sunscreen on again.
I do. I'm so uncomfortable with this. Like thank you.
No, but
I went
I'm
in
just
for a
saying,
second.
the streets are asking for more Lindsay Dunn. That's exactly
Can I tell you what else the streets are asking for? I went on and checked for a second yesterday, and someone asked me, "Do you have an OnlyFans account?" And I'm like, "Okay, turning the app off."
This is why you don't. This is why you got to let me use Twitter for you. Okay, I can filter those ones out.
Oh, that's someone who sent me photos of their own feed. Like I was on for 5 seconds yesterday.
All right.
Okay, but anyways,
oh my goodness.
Okay, yeah,
Nope.
yeah, woo.
No,
Yeah.
no. Turn that off.
But seriously, I was going to say this to the end. I'll do it quickly. I think your crew, like all the behind the scenes crew. They're so lovely. They're so fun. And you having me on here, there was a couple emails I got. Actually, thank you to everybody that did reach out by email, because I have to read those. I don't ever like to make things about this. The fact that I'm a woman in sports, like every one of us, no matter who we are, what we look like, what we do, we have bad days at our job. Okay. But I didn't realize kind of the significance of you having a female co-host for some people, and especially on a hoop show, because it's not that common. So that is a big thank you for giving me the space, especially for letting me be me, because I am very much weird, and I like to say I'm not normal, and I'm not going to change. So.
By the way, the next hour is going to get a lot weirder. I mean,
I'm so excited.
We got an interview. We talk about the game.
Oh, it's going to get wild.
To me, the basketball portion's done. Hour 2, I'm sorry, it's gonna go off the rails.
I don't know if people say this anymore. It's going to be lit. Thank you.
Yes,
I don't know, because something is going to happen with Will that has not happened on national TV that I'm so excited for, and you are not.
I know what this is, and it still feels like a threat.
It is going to be amazing. So saddle up, my friends. We're going for a ride.
Yeah. So this is what we have for hour 2, okay? We're going to call your one friend in the world, Amy Audibert, of the Miami Heat broadcast.
I'd like to say my husband's my friend, too. Are you not my friend? Wow, okay.
We're like coworkers, you know?
Wow. You sound like my coworker Adrian. I thought we were buddies, and he's like, we're coworkers. I'm like, ouch.
Yeah,
Second hour of the show, I'm not here.
Do we hang out after work? I mean, we invite you. We invite you to Hong Shing in our monthly meetings there nowadays. Shouts to Hong Shing as well. And we had Amy coming on. We're going to talk about Miami Heat, but also just get you guys the friendly banter and all that stuff. And then segment 4, as promised from yesterday, you are going to help continue this education, this culture education around sort of country music, country slang.
Which I'm not the expert in, but it'll be fun.
I feel like you could pass for the expert, because you were also giving me some songs to listen to and stuff like that. So my homework assignment was to actually come up with a few country terms for you to sort of explain to me. So I have those prepared. That's what's coming up in hour 2. That's right. So the producer's upstairs. Just get ready. It's going to get, the energy's going to go to a different level. All right. We're taking that break. My God, that's the only time that's ever been said on this show. Been your host, Willow. You've been listening to The Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network, brought to you by Campbell's new Chunky Spicy Soup. Welcome back to The Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. I'm your host, William Liu. Once again, Linsanity continues. Lindsay Dunn is joining us on The Raptors Show. And, to our next guests, I just wanted to make clear that we have a couple changes to the show. Obviously, Alex, my guy, has moved on, and we got rotating cast of friends. Today, it's Raptors reporter Lindsay Dunn on the show with us. So, Amy Audibert joining us from Miami. Amy, what's it like down there? And also, your one friend is here to see you. She has made this request.
One friend rather.
But she's also actually requested to do your intro. So
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. We're joined now by former Raptors and Raptors 905 sideline reporter and analyst, CEBL sideline reporter and analyst, Miami Hurricanes legend. In her junior year, appeared in 24 games, the most of any UM player at that moment. Miami Heat radio and TV studio analyst, but most importantly, apparently my only friend I have in the world, Amy Audibert. Woo-hoo-hoo! Welcome to the show, buddy.
Gosh, hey friends, you make me sound so cool.
Also,
Wow.
for those that on the podcast, they wouldn't have heard that Garth Brooks was playing when it introed the show. And Amy, huge Garth Brooks fan, saw him during Vegas Summer League.
That's right. Yes.
Booked a solo ticket, and I was like 5 rows from the stage, and I swear he looked at me once and saw me singing to his songs, and it was like the coolest moment.
Wow.
Do you know who Garth Brooks is?
You know what?
No.
This show is about basketball. Can we talk basketball on the show ever?
Okay, you know what? Fine.
You guys
Lead it off.
want to talk Horns Flex? Come on.
Garth Brooks was my escape from basketball. Like, we went to Summer League 2 weeks after the finals, and I was like, I'm going out for a night by myself. I love everybody I work with, but I need a break.
I got you. Amy, I appreciate changing the subject now. I appreciate that you're joining us. Essentially, you look like you're in the office, essentially, the show with the window right by you on the so what are things like in Miami right now? What's going on in Miami these days? Jaime Jaquez just had a big game again. Like what's going on with the Heat?
I was gonna say the sky is blue and the palm trees are beautiful. If you asked,
It's pouring rain in Toronto today. Yeah. It's like that Maroon 5 song.
No, I was home for a week during All-Star break. It was beautiful up there. I missed the cold, crisp air. Back to basketball. What is going on? No, when you breathe in that clear, beautiful air, your lungs really do appreciate it. A week was enough. I like the warmth. But no, basketball's been fun. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, right? It's been a really I'm not going to say the same type of season where you kind of just go really up and down. It's an NBA season and there's rigors in it. And when Miami lost 7 straight, for me, it was like really telling in terms of, as a newer person in this organization, surrounded by people that have been here for so long, you kind of get to see when things are actually really meaningful and when they're not, based on, the excitement or the maybe how low people feel based on things, right? And so when they lost 7 and when our team lost 7 in a row, I mean, it felt so heavy. That hadn't happened in, I think it was about 15 years. So it was a really strange place and really uncharted for a lot of the people around here. And so I'm going 7 games in a row. I mean, some organizations go through this all the time. So I guess that's a positive problem, but it was really nice to see this team kind of come together. There is an infamous film session where they elected not to practice, but to have some tough conversations. And they really responded well out of that. I mean, still battling through injuries. Last night, we saw lineup number 30 out of the, 57 games tonight that we would have played. Yeah. 30th starting lineup last night of the season. And, last night we won a tough road game against a really good Sacramento team without 3 of our starters. Or projected starters. So just getting it done defensively. And now everyone's kind of really kicking back into roles, which is a good thing at this time of the year.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. As someone that covered the Raptors when Lowry was here, you covered his era with the Miami Heat that is now over. What was it like? Because we hear so many storylines coming out of Miami from Miami media or Miami Heat Twitter. What was it like for the Kyle Lowry Miami Heat era covering that?
It was different for me, I'd say, than most of the people, because I'm not apologizing for it. I had a completely different view of Kyle Lowry, and I always will. I grew up in Canada, and I watched Kyle bring home a championship for the first time ever, and that never kind of leaves you. And I guess you can say it's biased in some ways because that was a foundational piece to me in my country, And so for me, it was really weird because I think that I like to believe that I maybe understood Kyle a little bit better than most other people, and I from the outside, and I understand his impact in the locker room. And Kyle was such an important key and piece to this team last year as they go from the 8th seed to an NBA Finals. I don't think a lot of people sitting at home realize how important Kyle was. And so when the trade happened, I won it about a month ago or so, it's kind of like, I really do feel it was win-win for both organizations. I think that Miami is fully embracing a guy like Terry Rozier, but I also know that Kyle Lowry is going to make an impact wherever he is, and it's going to be on the court. But more importantly, I think when you talk about making a postseason run, when you talk about winning an NBA championship, the human spirit is so important. And we lose sight of that because we like to talk about basketball players as machines, as stats, as heights, as weights, as how high they can jump. But when you want to do something special, the human spirit to me is still always the number one thing. That's why I love sports so much. And I think that that's the box that Kyle Lowry checks. That's why he's going to be a Hall of Fame point guard. And selfishly, I was really sad because I had an amazing film room session with him that unfortunately we're not going to get to see.
Wow.
Which is crazy. I don't know if people know this, Amy. I'm going to humble brag for a moment.
Ahead,
she does these film room sessions with the players, like all of them. Gets one-on-one time, like including Jimmy Butler. Can you imagine sitting there? Amy, can you? I actually haven't spoken to you about this. I think it might be on your socials. I don't know if it is yet, but can you talk about breaking down film with Jimmy Butler and what that experience was like? Because he's wild.
Jimmy he's awesome. Jimmy does not apologize to anyone. He truthfully lives for himself and the people around him. And I love that about him. And he's good to the people around him. Jimmy is an incredible basketball player. It is easy to look at Jimmy Butler walk in a gym and say, wow, he's in incredible shape. And, he's this big and he works this hard. But what I got out of those film sessions the most is Jimmy Butler's IQ is off the charts. It's easy to get lost in his compete as I sit here and talk about the human spirit, but it's easy to get lost in thinking, Jimmy Butler just goes out there and he, it's all up here. And it is a lot for him, but he understands this game so well. And he's always almost one step ahead of the play. And so it was really cool to sit there and have the basketball conversation. But if you do watch it, we actually did get into the compete conversation a little bit too. I think we saw some truly out of body experiences last year with him in that playoff run. And it was really cool to kind of look at that and say like, hey, what are you thinking in these moments? Because I don't believe most human beings can actually tap into that, but he can. And it's really awesome to be able to get a closer seat to it than most people.
I hope you guys watched footage of what he did to Drew Holiday in round one. Because I have never seen anyone do that to Drew Holiday.
It was Milwaukee. I'm getting my M's mixed up. It's funny. It was the 56-point game. And for me, that was one of the moments. I'm going to tell you something. Like for me, I'm watching it and I'm like experiencing it. And like, I've got like the chills, but I'm like, again, this is my first year and the whole year was just a roller coaster for me. But I'm looking to the guy I sit beside who's in year 20, and I'm looking 4 rows down to our Spanish play-by-play who's been here for all 36 seasons of the Miami Heat, and they are like, wow. And so that's when you know that this actually is like one of those maybe forever moments that so many people are going to carry with them. So I mean, new season, but this is a big perk for us and what we get to do, right? Is that we get to kind of experience these moments and we work hard for them, but it's really a blessing to see them when they happen.
Just like when Grady has 18 in back-to-back games.
Oh my gosh.
Grady's coming on. Watch out, Miami. Watch out.
No, the thing is, we all know this. Grady's going to have a game where like that rim is going to be the size of the ocean, and
that's every game now.
You're going to know it in the first couple minutes, right?
Yeah,
and it's going to be incredible, and like because you've seen him since he feels like is a baby, right? Almost
he's still a baby. Let's be honest.
That everyone's going to feel a little bit like proud, so much more proud of him because they get to experience that. So it's really cool for you guys.
He's taking his first steps right now. It's beautiful.
I'm so proud right now to be talking to my pals, although you said you were not my friend before the break.
Well,
Amy, my friend
like
on here right now. We're work friends. He said it like,
you can have friendships in any setting.
Wow. But Amy, you talk about the personalities. You are the OG Anunoby whisperer. When you were with, you don't like talking about this. There's so many moments you got him to be candid. You got him to say more than a couple words. I'm pretty sure he offered to be your mentor after one of the season-ending availabilities. You don't remember?
I don't remember this.
Amy, walk
Whoa,
us through
what
this
happened?
moment. I was sitting by you, and it was one of your legendary interactions with him. Like one of the few people I've ever seen get OG to be OG.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember that because it was the end of the season. It was the day after. And by the way, full disclosure, I had gotten to my first car accident on the QEW the night before, like driving home. It was so scary and crazy. Thankfully, no one got hurt, but the police were involved. So I got home to Niagara Falls and I had to turn around and drive right back up to availability. Like it was crazy. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know, I definitely want to, it was my first season with the Raptors, obviously. And I wanted to like, you know, get some good answers. And I actually kind of have those like conversations that you don't really get to necessarily ask, especially in a playoff situation where it is tense and you do tend to focus on the basketball. And I think that's what everyone kind of wants. But, you know, OG at that point in his career he's kind of a vet now within that locker room. He's more an experienced guy. And so, okay, Dunn's going to get a kick out of this, but I always think of, was it not Britney Spears, how she said, like, I don't want to be a mentor. I don't want to be an example for everyone. But the reality is like, you are, whether you want to be, you are something that a lot of people are looking up to, whether you want to be or not. And I was thinking of that. And I'm like, I'm thinking of a guy like OG who probably has a different way of leading. Maybe we don't get to see that. And so I wanted to ask him, like, hey, do you consider yourself a leader or a mentor, whether you want to be or not? The more production you're going to be in this position. And yeah, it was kind of funny. I don't know if he understood the question. He understood it more than the Texas question, which was great. And then he just offered to be my mentor. It was really awkward. And then he did apologize after in front of everyone. So I know he knows what he was doing.
See, she thinks these are like not great moments. He offered her, moments. Can I be your mentor in front of everyone? It was fantastic. And then apologized. Yeah. And the Texas moment, I think it was great. Post game, she just asked him, I think the next game was in Texas, like, hey, OG, what's good in Texas? Or something like that. Yeah. And it was hilarious. It was great. It got a personality out of him. And, you know, and when he sees you, he's happy to see you because you get those moments out of him.
Yeah, I'm so happy for him. I got to see him in New York. I was up there with the Knicks game, end of January, and I got to see him, give him a big hug, and his lip was all busted up. It was after the game, and I was like, man, I'm happy for you. Yeah, well, yeah, and it was like, by the way, like Knicks Heat is always, there's always going to be some
the Pat Riley Bowl.
Crazy. Yeah. But it's weird to see him on that side of things now, isn't it? It took me a second, but I am, you know, he looked happy, he looks great, and when he gets back out there, they're going to be even more of a problem.
All right, well, speaking of violence.
Oh, I can tell. Yeah.
This is my question about the Heat. Why is there one fight involving the Heat every season? You know how you remember when you were here and Serge Ibaka would get in a fight every year? The Heat are the Serge Ibakas of the NBA. All right, there's got to be one fight every year. In fact, I remember vividly there was one fight between Serge and James Johnson of the Heat back then.
And then Christian Koloko last season.
Christian Koloko with Caleb Martin, playoff hero Caleb Martin, nice as it turned out. But yeah, why is there one Heat fight per year?
Let me just say, that one last year, you guys don't understand. I literally just drove into Miami. It took me time for my visa to process. Mm-hmm. I literally just drove in. I check into like my furnished apartment, like just fresh out of Canada. I turn the game on and I see like Caleb kind of wrap it up. And I'm like, this is awkward, you know? And Caleb's one of the kindest souls on the team. But to your point, really? Will, what he really is, okay. To your point, Caleb gets on the court. He's also like one of the most high-end competitors in this. I'd put him up with anybody in this league in terms of when he gets out there. And that's, to your point, is that Spo's talked about it before. I remember last year, Dwayne Dedman threw like a therapy gun on the court because he got into it with Spo, and he was. What? You guys remember that moment? Yes. And I'm like, so crazy. But afterwards, Spo's like, we're a gnarly group. Mm-hmm. We have gnarly guys, and it kind of. Times. And listen, the New Orleans game was a physical game. I think it was like consistently physical on both ends. I'm not complaining about that. I actually appreciate that type of game as long as it's consistent. And then it was a hard foul, and there was a lot of emotions, and it was competitive, and it kind of boiled up. And I mean, also then you've got a guy like Nico, who is the sweetest, like just turned 20 years old.
What happened there?
Always smiling. And, unfortunately, it's his second time that he's left the But it was funny because he actually was like, but I didn't go on the court. Because last year he went on the court, right? So he got a game. And this year he's like, I didn't go on the court. And then, of course, Jimmy's like making fun of it on Instagram, bad boys from the location of the Miami-Dade County Jail. So it's just like, obviously, you don't want players suspended. You don't want players losing games. You certainly don't want fans getting involved, which started to happen. That was a little bit intense. Yeah. Things were starting to get thrown on the court and stuff. But I think with our group is that it's kind of one of those risk rewards things. We're an extremely competitive group. They really do believe in themselves. And they also understand the value of team and like what those moments mean. And so once again, Jimmy's, posting him and Nico and TB watching the game last night, and they're hyped up for their teammates. And then Jaime in his walk-off post-game was like, this one's for our guys who aren't with us tonight. So you move on, and to me, it's an over issue until March 22nd when New Orleans is down here. You might get a little spiked, but I also think both teams at that point are still going to be, when you look at the standings, tonight Miami's in Portland. Yeah. There's going to be some stories written about what this game means. And our guys are probably going in there saying, like, we just need to win a road game. We need to continue to win because the standings are so tight. No one's got time for the drama right now, right? I mean, it happens in spurred, there's heat of the moment things, but you snap back into it. And that's where guys like Bam really are so important because Bam's the leader. He's a leader by example. And literally since the ejection with Jimmy Butler and even through last night, he's been awesome. And that is like, hey, we got a job to do. We got games to win. And so you're kind of seeing that business-like approach really start to snap in, which is important this time of the year.
When we talk about violence and character and all that, why do you hate me and keep sending me videos of monkeys knowing I don't like them, Amy?
Wait, what?
What is wrong with you? I have a beef with you, and today I'm airing it on TV and on the podcast and on radio. Why?
Like I said, you shouldn't be with your one friend. You'll be very lonely in life.
You know what? I'm risking it. No more monkey videos. I hate them. They're scary. And she sends me them all the time.
How are monkeys scary? Okay.
I was attacked by...
Dunn was attacked. Here's the thing. Well, look,
okay, can I just tell me the backstory, please. Go ahead.
Okay, the backstory is this. Last year, I had a crazy, mid-season just adjustment, all this stuff going on. And I was like, man, unfortunately, my pup is it's good for him, not good for me. My pup is being spoiled by my mom during the season. He doesn't come down to Florida with me. And I was like, I need something. So I was like, I think I'm going to try to rescue a monkey. When Lindsay was Dunn was in Florida and we were hanging out, and I was telling her because there's animal rescues. I went down a rabbit hole because you don't have regular sleeping hours in an NBA season. It was 3:00 in the morning. And I'm literally like, how can I rescue a monkey? So we're watching YouTube videos of this lady with a monkey, and Lindsay is shaking. She is so upset. And I'm like, I can't understand that. It literally was a 4 to 5 minute video where I realized that it wasn't going to be a good fit for me. But I was more concerned about my friend who was absolutely traumatized. She actually got assaulted by a monkey on a video shoot. And it just sounded intense. Lindsay, you can't judge all
Amy, that video she made me watch. You mute her Zoom and let me finish this. She made me watch this 45-minute video, 4 to 5 minutes, not 45, where it's jumping off this ceiling, pulling the person's hair.
It's a monkey. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Like,
first of all, you should not have monkeys.
Why would you want one, Amy? That's the only time I've ever questioned our friendship, is you making me watch that. But then, bam, she sent me a monkey video the other day. I'm like, why do you hate me? But yeah, that video was crazy. We're watching. I'm like, why? No. Okay. Get a hamster or something, Amy, not a monkey.
Okay, Lindsay, this is not the follow-up question or the clarification I needed. What happened? You got attacked by a monkey?
I'm not going to say which monkey. It was a very famous monkey in
Canada.
What
happened? The IKEA monkey got you? No.
So I went to an animal sanctuary. It was for monkeys, and it's this very narrow walkway had cages on both sides. And I was a videographer at the time, so I had a bag and I had the camera in my hand. And I'm walking through, and it's I don't know, maybe 3 feet wide. And all I hear is a bunch of monkey noises, which I am not going to do right now. And then they pull my hair to one side. I hit the cage, pull the bag on the other side, and it drops, and it's so loud. I run out of there, and I'm in tears. But you bet your bottom dollar, I still got the story done and did the interview after.
Goodness.
But I'm terrified of monkeys now because of this. And they're really smart. But Amy, no, get a hamster.
You know what? I'm saying, Amy, I got to side with Lindsay on this one. If you knew the history here from your best friend and how she doesn't like monkeys, I mean.
Yeah, it's like a terror thing.
What kind of pet are you looking at now?
None right now. I mean,
look at your hamster.
Getting basketball. And listen, I'm on a second night of a back-to-back with these West Coast games, and I'm flying to Denver in the morning to join the team for that game on. And so, I have a hard time taking care of myself, so I will not be getting anything right now.
Wow.
But that's what we do on a Friday night. I don't know what day it is when we watch that. We watch monkey videos.
But that's
and
real.
then she introduced me to it was like Real Housewives of. No, I don't even remember what it was. It was some reality show.
Yeah.
But it was like, I can't remember. I feel like Nicki Minaj or someone was in it. No, Cardi B was in it. What show is that, Amy?
What is it called? I don't know.
I don't know, but it was just so confrontational, which is not my style. Yeah, and I'm sitting there like, this is wild.
See, this is.
You're welcome.
This is why I have a question for Amy. Okay, can you clarify for us? Does Lindsay have other friends? Because I get best friend vibes from you two, like all the time. Every time Lindsay has a chance to go to Florida, oh, there's Amy again. Oh, there's Jackson.
That's two friends then.
Yeah, he does have other friends.
Confirm for us. Does Lindsay have other friends?
Lindsay has other friends. I will say this. And on a serious note, it is hard in our industry to genuinely find good friends. Like, it really is. I know women talk about supporting each other, but we very much work in an industry that is, who are you and what can you do for me? It really is, unfortunately. And so every once in a while, you just, again, like Lindsay and I, like we watch monkey videos and talk about music and like love Cardi B. So it's not just like about that. So it's just, I appreciate, I know I have a couple really close friends in this industry that isn't just because of the industry. So I know she has other friends too. She's got a great music, like I'm not a musical person, and, she's got all this music friends that okay, go do your music.
Tell something. So see, that's 3 friends. I'm not inviting you to my friendship circle anymore, Will, but I just want to say something about Amy because I did say she was a jerk for the monkey videos, but I want to share the nicest thing I think someone's ever done for me. And it was just showing how she's just such a caring person. Sorry, Amy, we don't talk like this. We're not like mushy people. We honestly talk smack all day, every day and have she's blushing. No, I'm going there because I haven't shared this. It was so nice. So when I was going to Indiana for the All-Star game that morning, I was doing sidelines for the 9 to 5, which Amy was a huge part in telling people hey, give this girl a shot. So thank you. And I was talking to her hey, there's this huge opportunity that came up for me that was supposed to happen at the All-Star game. Biggest cheerleader, Amy. She's like, this is so awesome. And then on my way there, my connecting flight got canceled. So I had to spend the night in the Dallas airport, and I've never had a connecting flight overnight at an airport. I didn't know what to do or anything. I turned my phone off. I'm like, hey, I'll get there eventually that I can then go to Indiana.
Wait, were you just going to stay in the airport?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're supposed to put you up at a hotel and everything.
I don't know the stuff. That wasn't the case. And I was like,
if it's not for weather, they won't. Yeah. If it's for weather, they will not
really
help you. Weather.
That's
I got stuck in
JFK. That's a horrible policy, man.
Yeah, and so I was like, I'll just go with it. I was still really happy. I'm like, eventually I'm going to get there. This is going to be great. I'll have no sleep, but it's still going to be fun.
Yeah, it sounds great to spend a night overnight in an airport to go to Indianapolis.
Dallas before. Come on.
For sure.
It was great. It's like, Amy, I wasn't let down about it. I was like, I was excited. And then I turned my phone off. I let everybody know. I'm like, hey, I made the connecting, this different flight. I'll be here. I turned my flight on in Dallas, and she's like, done. Don't get mad at me. But I booked you a hotel room away from the airport so that you can at least go shower, maybe get an hour of sleep, and then go back. Because she knows all about, terrible travel stories. But, how nice is that? It just shows, a good person, didn't ask, just does that. So, thanks, Amy. We can still be friends, even though you send me monkey videos. And I'm refusing to check my social media right now, just so you guys know, because I know you little jerks are sending me IKEA monkey
Get in those DMs.
Get out of my DMs.
Put on a little mink coat or whatever that monkey was wearing.
You're so cute.
But that's that.
Yeah.
She's a good kid.
All right. Well, I have one more. I have one more friendship question to ask the two of you.
Oh my God.
Since I already asked one to Amy, this one to Lindsay. Has Amy changed since going to South Beach?
Oh, has she ever? Are you kidding me? The ego on this woman? Wow, I can't even go in a room with her because she has such attitude. Just kidding.
Okay.
We go to Miami.
That's called heat culture, by the way, right? You can't. You wouldn't understand that. You wouldn't understand.
But if anybody tunes out, I'm totally kidding.
I knew you were getting it in. I thought of you every single day in May and June. Every morning I woke up and I thought of Will how mad he was right now.
No, trust me. I was on this show being like, yo, I buy in heat culture, man. Everything Amy said, everything Jack said, they were right. Look at them, man. Caleb Martin is outplaying Jaylen Brown in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, what's going on?
I'm closer to you than I am to her, and I warn you, I will fight you if you smack talk Amy.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, but has she changed? Has she changed? Gonna say?
Honestly, no. And it was so lovely when I was down there to cover the Christmas Day game for a project I was doing for BBC. Every security guard, every usher, the players, they all go up and say hi to Amy. Everyone knows her name. She makes time for everyone. She could be the biggest jerk in the world. We see a lot of people in this industry, whether they are an athlete or on air, have giant egos when it's we're not doing anything crazy, but you're a lovely human. She was giving everyone little maple candies on Christmas Day. She hasn't changed at all, thankfully. Wow. If not, I'd have zero friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I ask, do we have time for one quick question?
We got all the time in the world.
Sorry, Amy, I don't know. I don't think if Amy has time. Amy, my last question is, I'm a huge fan of Pat Riley and the personality of Pat Riley. What's it been like? Do you have Pat Riley stories you're allowed to share with us, or maybe 1 or 7?
No, I mean, I think it's, again,
how much trouble are we trying to get Amy into right now?
No, it's because I consider myself very lucky to have covered the Toronto Raptors and have the opportunity to be around Bobby and Masai and that type of leadership. So and then I come down here and, Jax and I were at the Christmas party and Pat came and had lunch with us, the three of us, and so I'm sitting there does somebody have a dang camera? You know what I mean? Because it's you just try to take a step back and be like, how did I get here? But he's just, we talk about basketball. And so I would pay a lot of money to have a conversation with Pat Riley about basketball and hoops and just the game and obviously his stories and his experiences. So it's just really cool. So, I mean, when he's around, obviously it's just you kind of it is a big family down here. It really is. But then also it's just incredible that just to be able to, sit there and listen to someone like that talk about basketball. It's just super cool. So I know you love him, Dunn, and I love him too. And I think everyone does. He's awesome. And just, his leadership down here it really has. I think it's laid a foundation that I don't think we'll ever see really go away.
Do you think I've changed since I've co-hosted the Raptors show for 2 days straight?
Absolutely, yes.
My head seems
this
bigger.
is deleting your number, as we say.
Wow.
Spicy.
Amy,
Zesty.
I appreciate you for joining us. I don't know if you knew what you were getting into by agreeing to do this interview.
I had no idea.
You thought we were just going to talk Miami Heat basketball? Yes, but realistically, we were going to,
basketball in general. But I do want
that's not
to
what we do here.
Enjoy your pizza part. I thought we were going to be talking about pizza. So
we already did, yeah.
You guys did, and by the way,
I brought pizza for the whole station, all the producers having slices. It was great.
Yeah, no, I think Miami actually bumped up to 6 last night. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Get out of here. Yeah. Get off the show, Amy.
All right.
You know what? It's one of those times where I'm one of those people that I'm not going to monitor the standings every single night. I'm not going to do this to myself yet. Every single night, I'm literally monitoring the standings. It's crazy. We're all going to go crazy over the next month and a half. So
I'm already there.
Can't wait to play y'all in the play-in. All right. Okay.
Well, hey, Will, are you coming down, by the way, for the last 2 regular season games? I told you I'm thinking of throwing a party.
He's not on the guest list, Amy. I'm in control of that guest list.
You're in control of the guest list? Oh, I got to be nicer to you the next segment.
Yeah, you do,
all right,
buddy.
Next segment is about me winning back my spot on this guest list. But that sounds amazing.
It's going to be amazing. Seriously, if you were on that guest list, it would be a time of your life.
There's time to change that to a yes. I could change a yes to an if into a yes. So we are going to drop you now. All right, Amy,
Thanks,
appreciate you. Safe travels. Enjoy calling a winning franchise. Enjoy having lunch with Pat Riley. Enjoy having friendships with Amy or with Lindsay. And yeah, we'll call you sometime down the line.
Bye.
It's so great to hear from you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss you guys.
Yeah. Do you? This is just, we were just clowning around this whole episode.
I do. Get out of here. I do. I'm still keeping track of everyone.
Good.
All right.
Okay, we're going to take our last break of today. I've been your host, Willow. You've been listening to The Raptor Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network, brought to you by Campbell's new Chunky Spicy Soup. When we come back, I may or may not be putting on a cowboy hat or something. All right, let's just take a break.
Up.
Welcome back to The Raptor Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. I'm your host, Wayne Blue. Linsanity continues. Lindsay Dunn entering the final lap of your co-hosting of The Raptor Show. Once again, rave reviews. I didn't even mention that we have a Raptor Show subreddit as well.
Oh, gosh.
And
that's scary.
One of the most upvoted posts is just more Lindsay in general. Yeah.
Are you messing with me?
No, I'm absolutely serious. You can go to the subreddit yourself, the loser subreddit. Shouts to everyone in there. Yeah.
Just thank you for everyone listening and the positive words and just being nice. Because
we got your friend on the program.
My friend on the program, Amy, right now, who just texted me to explain why she sent me the latest monkey video.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm not actually mad, but am I? If people on
Amy,
the pod,
please don't get a monkey. Like for your own sake, don't get one.
Listen to him if you won't listen to me. Like, get her a stuffed animal. But for those that I think on the podcast you don't play the music that's played during the show.
No.
Chattahoochee by Alan Jackson. Just play.
What did you just call me? What?
Way down yonder in the Chattahoochee.
Yeah, so
come on, that's a classic.
This is a continuation of what we talked about yesterday because you had interviewed Bruce Brown. We played the interview yesterday, and Bruce Brown is a noted country fan. Yeah. And, you know, that got you at one point challenged me, like, say something country. And I really struggled with it. So we thought we would take the time in this one to, like, just really learn and explore just the culture, you know, in a way. And I've done my homework. I've actually come up with 3 songs, and I'm going to give you some of those lyrics, and I'm going to help, you know, get your help in explaining.
I love that people are going to like, why are you guys talking about country music on a Raptor show? It's because Bruce Brown. Blame Bruce Brown. But also it's because
we're trying to understand Bruce Brown better.
We are trying to understand Bruce Brown, but I brought you something to wear today.
Okay, yeah. So this is one of the lessons I've learned from working with you the last 2 days. Bring a lot of props and bribe people as well, because, you know, that's just always going to make a better show. So what do you have for us right now for the audio
This is a
medium?
Cowboy hat that I don't know will go over your man bun, so you might have to take that down.
First off, it is not a man bun.
Debatable. And then I also brought a cowboy hat, and we'll see if this isn't going to fit over this. We'll see. All right, I don't really need the headphones. I look like Crocodile Dundee right now.
Oh, crikey. All right.
Crikey.
Wow, this is really well made. So you explain to me. So first of all, why do you have this?
My husband's in a country music band called the Holy Gamblers, and that is one of his prized possessions. And he specifically told me if Will eats pizza and then touches that hat, not cool. But that is, it's...
How much is this hat?
Let's be real. $200.
Couple hundred? Couple hundred.
A little higher than that. I didn't think it'd fit on your mug.
Yeah, it doesn't, but you know,
better.
it's fine. It's fine. I'll just sit on top.
You're going to have to go find a photo and see this.
Goodness, what are we doing on this program? We talk Raptors on this program.
I do look just like Crocodile Dundee.
All right.
Okay, so cowboy up. Somebody said that's a country phrase. I don't... What's happening right now?
Okay, so because we're trying to understand Bruce Brown a little bit better. Bruce Brown mentioned a couple of country artists, and I looked up just like, I don't know, like a top Spotify playlist of like just country songs.
Yeah, he likes a lot of top 40 country.
So Luke Bryan's pretty popular, right? I've heard of Luke Bryan. Country Girl, I've actually heard this song in like a function that I was at, you know, quite frequently. Again, like I mentioned, I had a lot of roommates in university, and I definitely heard this at many parties. So I want you to give me, just break down some of these lyrics, okay? Got a little boom in a big truck. Gonna open up the doors and turn it up. Gonna stomp in my boots in the Georgia mud. Gonna watch you make me fall in love. So there's truck, there's mud, there's Georgia's in here. This is from Luke Bryan's Country Girl. So yeah, explain to me the thought behind it.
Shake it for me, girl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible singing. I can't explain any of the country music lyrics for a lot of it. For the most part, I listen to the Highwaymen or Maren Morris, where the lyrics are less like that. And
not as much about mud, trucks.
Boots, pickup trucks, and whiskey. But that's a banger for a lot of people, they love it. I actually saw him at Budweiser stage. It was a sponsorship thing that I went and saw the show, and people lost their minds when that song went on.
Oh yeah, no,
like,
that
you
one
could feel it, like the ground shake because people were jumping.
is the song Wagon Wheel. Is that also country? Is that?
Yeah, that's a cover by Darius Rucker, who I cannot remember. Hootie and the Blowfish. Yeah, he did a cover of that, and it became really popular.
We sang that a lot at my house.
How did it go, though? For
like
those that don't know how it goes, Will?
How did it go? You know what? I'm gonna hit you with the next lyric.
Just trying to get him to think.
Was it rock me something like a wagon wheel or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried. Can you give us a yeehaw at least with that?
Yeehaw. Yes, that's right. Yeehaw. Yes. My goodness, man. I look insane right now. All right.
Get her done.
Oh my God. What is that? Okay, next one from Morgan Whalen and with Eric Church. So you actually specifically requested this one. You said Morgan Whalen is really popping right now.
I don't know who Morgan Whalen is, but I know who Morgan Wallen is.
Wallen. Sorry, my bad. All right, the lyrics.
It's popular, but Bruce Brown was playing Morgan Wallen and said that he liked Morgan Wallen.
All right. So the lyrics go, I sat down on a bar stool like a darn fool because she walked out again. Bartender said, I got you. Yeah, because I, too, have been in your boots, my friend. First off, bars. All right. Those are called bars. That's Morgan Wallen with Eric Church on Man Made a Bar. So explain the thought process here. I'm sensing a sense of like a lot of romantic kind of lyrics, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of
Yeah, I think a lot of the theme for country music lately is, heartbreak, but gravel road, your pickup truck, your dog, and some brewskis. And almost every song, like every fourth song, talks about Tennessee or Tennessee whiskey.
Okay, yeah, because that leads well to the next one. This one from Kane Brown on I Can Feel It. Them words you're whispering in my ear, girl, they're as smooth as Tennessee. So I just didn't understand why Tennessee. What's smooth about Tennessee?
Tennessee whiskey. So it's I believe that's a reference to Tennessee whiskey. I am not the country music or I don't know aficionado, but I'm just saying right now, the visuals right now of you wearing a cowboy hat over your man bun. And
I can't do this anymore. This is an incredible hat, though. I love it. Yeah.
The reciting the lyrics is this actually, I think, has now made my whole year compared to whatever happened yesterday. That was Monday. Crocodile Dundee is over.
Okay, I gotta say, going through that playlist, I wouldn't mind if that came on in a couple parties. They're usually like high energy.
Yeah, there's a lot of 808 drums, all that other stuff on there compared to the old school country. A lot heavier guitars, but it made me think of we do need to try to make a country song with the Raptors involving boots, dirt road, pickup truck, and their dog. Well, we got no dogs going down the dirt road. I don't know.
Well, Pat Beverly did infamously say many times that Raptors don't got no dogs. I mean, not until we make a country song,
But Gary Trent
apparently.
Sr. did say every small dog eventually becomes a big dog. So
yes, he did say that. Yeah.
I'm a big dog right now.
I could tell. The last two episodes have really turned you into a big dog.
No, not at all.
But on the subject of just Raptors content ideas, since you and I are both in this space, we are. I mean, I'm so sorry to your husband for what I did to this hat. I'm just sorry.
I'm not sorry because the viewers just heard you.
Yeah, it says 7.25. It's probably like 9.5 right now after being on my head. But
I'll buy him a new one.
I don't know. This is $350. This is a really nice hat. But yeah, since we're both in the Raptors content space, and I kind of wanted to do like an on-air show meeting.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because I kind of wanted to
this.
just explore ideas because you've shown a lot of creativity. You talked to Ochai, you talked to Bruce Brown. You come up with a lot of, again,
Went bowling with Scotty and Chris.
Yeah, how was that?
It was fun. Chris Boucher is a bowling, I'm going to say God. I'm overselling it, but just like joking. He's like, oh, I'm going to hit the pin on whatever side. Boom, hits it. And then he's like, oh, I'll hit the head pin. Hits it.
Does he bowl? Does he bowl as weirdly as he shoots the basketball?
I don't know if that's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, he does. And I don't know if he was joking saying he had a bowling lane in his house, which is not uncommon for people that have, more money than I do.
Yeah, sure.
But he had a turkey, which I don't know if you know bowling terms. That's 3 in a row.
Yes, I do.
And then I don't know
from Wii Sports actually. That's what I know that from.
What's 4 in a row? Because I don't know what that is, but he had 4. Because I never got there on Wii Sports or in life in general because I'm trash at bowling.
I actually don't know.
We have a super turkey. Yeah, he was dynamite. No one says that, but anyways, he was.
What about
dynamite.
Scotty? How was Scotty at bowling?
Scotty was okay. Not as good as Chris. Sorry, Scotty. The awkward laugh, he wasn't as good as him. I think Chris he's had a couple more reps around the sun in general, so it's more experience. But yeah, Chris, I would want him to be on my team if we were bowling.
I hear you.
Okay, so let's have this meeting ideas. What would be some of yours?
Some content ideas. Okay, I'm just going to throw some ideas at you, and then you are going to advise, say if this is a good idea, bad idea, how to change it, okay?
Yep.
I'm going to hit you with a couple ideas, and then you're going to hit me with a couple ideas. Again, we need to burn 10 minutes before the show's done. The first idea.
Terrible.
Going to the tailor with Garrett Temple.
Oh, yeah. His fits are insane.
So we would be at like, just
Do you
at a
own a
tailor. Do I own a suit? I mean, I never wear suits, but yes, I do have like 3 suits. We would talk about style. We talk about life. Maybe share stories of him golfing with Kyle and Vince Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Probably put some Tennessee whiskey together. You know what I mean? One of
Bruce
those
Brown
deals.
did say he's starting to get Garrett to like country music. So
I mean, he's from Louisiana. I mean, is there country there too, or?
I think there's country everywhere. It's like the internet. You can play music. Well,
right, I got you.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I never heard country through the streets of Toronto. I'm just gonna say.
I think
been here a long time.
that is a great idea.
Okay, yeah.
Not to like make your head even bigger so it doesn't fit the next cowboy hat that I bring you, but I'm just kidding.
I need a 9-gallon. I need a 10-gallon hat, literally.
I think that would be great for the stories he would share and like the stories with the tailor, because I believe he works with a tailor.
Yes,
in the States. I can't remember the.
It's like his cousin or something.
Something like that. But them
him,
talk about the stories and like him talk about this. Like you mentioned, golfing with Vince and just the stories he has that he hasn't really shared. Give him a little bit more time, and then away from the court, the stuff that he's had, the stories he has with other players, I think would be really interesting. He's a great storyteller.
Oh, no, absolutely. I think Garrett.
So you
cool.
get 3 stars on that. 3 stars.
3
out of
stars.
3.
Good. Next one related to this. It's thrift shopping with Gary Trent Jr.
Oh yes. Love that idea. I think
so, yeah.
I interviewed him last year and I showed him some of his fits and he broke them down. And
I saw that idea, by the way, off of you. And then I did
know
the
you
same
did,
thing.
but you told me that's okay. It wasn't that original. It's just I was the one that got to him first.
I mean,
that's
I
all.
stole
That's
your
it.
idea, but I appreciate it.
But we talked about, I asked him like where he, got some of the pieces from. And he says he loves shopping in Kensington Market and kind of incorporating vintage into, what do we call it, more upscale clothing? I have no idea. High fashion.
One time I asked him vintage or designer, and his answer was,
vagina.
But what about vintage designer?
Vintage designer. I'm glad I stopped myself there because that sounded really bad. Yeah, vintage designer.
What? How is that a clip? There's no way.
I think that would be great because also there's so many times where he will come to, post game or he does his tunnel fits where some of us wonder, like, what is that? What's happening? I remember he had this look in New York and his shoe kind of had like a cut by the big toe and it was a dress shoe. So it kind of formed when he would walk. And a lot of people don't see it until you look at the actual shoe. And it's where he had it was a white long shirt and it was black in the front.
Yes, I remember that
the
one.
shoe actually has a split between the big toe and the rest of the toes.
Okay.
And it was wild. And I was like, I want to go, like, the reasoning about why you pick that. And I think for vintage, what he would be looking for would be entertaining. Yeah. Because also he likes a lot of vintage sports shirts. So what would he be looking for? And then maybe he could buy you a couple pieces while you're there, Will.
That is actually my hope, is to be styled by Gary Trent Jr. Although I think I might look more ridiculous than even when I wore this country hat. Another one. This one's a little rude. What are you getting the Gary Trent Jr. idea out of the 3 stars? Is that getting 3 stars or is that?
I'm giving it 3 stars as well. I think that would be great content. People would love to see that.
Somehow I don't think this one's going to be 3 stars. Getting a haircut with Jonte Porter.
What?
Because I keep mentioning this, but NBA players love getting a haircut.
Yeah.
It's people even take their barbers on the road or they fly them out. Just get a cut pretty regular. They're on TV. They're popular. They make a lot of money. It's a cultural thing. I get it. Jonte, for all the NBA players I've seen, gets his haircut the least, man. So haircut with Jonte Porter. What do you think? This might be a 1. This might be a 0. This might be a 0.
What?
I could use a haircut too. Is what I'm asking.
What? You just. So basically, you're saying you want Jonte to get a haircut because he needs to get a haircut, and then you'll make a segment out of it?
This is a bit rude. This is a bit rude. I'm sorry, Jonte.
Jonte is such a nice person.
He is a nice guy, yeah.
I don't know. His hair didn't bother me as much. There's
No, it doesn't bother me. There's nothing wrong with it.
I think it bothers you.
No. I'm just saying.
I would give that, out of 3 stars, a half a star.
That's half.
But still, it would be better than, sometimes we always like X's and O's all day, every day, which we can talk about. We all know it, but it's something different. So
well, we could talk horns flex when we're sitting at the barbershop. Shouts to Hollow Ground. I could take, Jonte, if you need. Anyway, next idea.
Well,
Last idea.
Let's see if you can redeem yourself, my friend. Coworker.
A Mississauga tour with RJ Barrett. Okay. So the idea is we drive around and we just have a day in Mississauga. So a couple places we're going to stop. We're going to go to Leela's, roti and doubles. Okay. We're going to get just incredible doubles and just roti and just in general. You know, you have to partake. Then we're going to go to Palladium, even though it's closed. Mississauga Palladium is closed.
I'm so sad about this.
There is a rec room inside of Square One now, so it's like basically where it was before. It doesn't hit the same, but maybe, yeah, we go to like a Palladium type of thing. Yeah, it is really sad to me that Palladium is gone. By the way, there was a story that Tracy McGrady had said on one of his podcasts where he was like, yeah, when I was a teenager in Toronto, I had nothing to do, so I literally was at Palladium all the time. Which, honestly, if you were in Toronto, an 18-year-old, and you had a lot of time, you probably would be at Palladium trying to chop. All right, and then we are going to go see the Mississauga Chinatown 9 Dragon Wall. Very people know this, but there is a very, very famous dragon wall that's in Beijing, and it's really beautifully adorned and everything like that. Mississauga, having a really, really big Chinese presence, actually has a 9 Dragon Wall in their Chinatown, and you could literally park like 1 meter away from it in that super tight parking lot. Yeah, they have their own Dragon Wall. It's not maybe as like quite as celebrated or as adorned as the one back home, but yeah, they got a 9 Dragon Wall. And then finally, we are going to finish the day at the Streetsville location of Osmos because Ochai Agbaji is apparently an Osmos stand. And I need him to explain to me what's so special about the Streetsville location because I have been taken there once. By a Mississauga resident, and it was, I have to say, substantially different than the other Osmos I've been to. So
for that part of your, tour with him, I would like to join because I've never been there as well. I've never been to an Osmos in general.
Okay.
So I would give that out of 3 stars a 5-star.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty good. RJ,
Raptors, hang out with Will. This needs to happen. This is what not only the people of Mississauga need. This is what the people of the world need.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, I have a couple ideas.
All right, go ahead. You got 2 minutes.
Okay, I want to go to Canada's Wonderland with Pat Delaney and Darko Rajakovic and ride all of the roller coasters.
I love this idea. I love it.
Pat is a little wild. I think he's so fun. If you watch his interactions with the players, he's so entertaining. And then Darko's Darko. He could yell of course. "This is the best day ever. You are the face of the Raptors franchise, Lindsay." That would be great.
Okay, yeah.
Secondly,
terrible Darko impersonation. But...
Well, that's because I don't want to do a real one because I don't want to get canceled.
Let's keep going. Let's move past that.
Going, I can't snapback shopping with Kelly O.
Oh, okay.
That's
going
not
to Lids.
super.
Going to Lids with Kelly O.
It's not super original, so I'm going to give that 101.
All right, you can give it one of these. I feel like Kelly could upgrade a little.
Yeah, Bruce Brown needs to get every single player on the Raptors a Cowboy hat, and then they all just walk in with the tunnel fit. And then finally, it's not Raptors related, but kind of. I would love to go on a pub crawl with referee Bill Kennedy.
Oh yeah, no, Bill's great. I mean, everyone knows.
I think it'd be so entertaining.
For sure. No, he's certainly a character. Why is every referee so jacked, by the way? Every time I see the referee on the review cam, they're always just like huge.
I wonder if it's because they're afraid of the fans, so they go and pump the irons after to keep them at bay.
I don't know, man. Every single rep is buff. It's kind of incredible. But Lindsay, appreciate you for joining us on the program. We haven't done the Raptors show chain in so long, but please put this on as yes, you have been awarded the Raptors show chain. It's highly coveted. And I just appreciate you for joining us on the program. Unfortunately, you have to interview literal celebrities tomorrow, so you can't be here. But the show will move on. We'll bring in more friends of the program. Tune in tomorrow to see who it is. But just appreciate you for joining us on this show. But that does it for us today. I've been your host, Willow. You've been listening to The Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network, brought to you by Campbell's new Chunky Spicy Soup. It's time to get fired up. Make sure you find The Raptors Show wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe, and please rate and review the program. Thanks again to our producer, Amit Man, our board producer, Derek Randale, Jennifer Rolnick, David says, Jared Manata helping behind the scenes. Big thanks to our guests, Amy Audibert, and I guess Ochai Agbaji. And of course, big thanks to Lindsay Dunn for joining us. You have 10 seconds to say goodbye.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you to your production crew. Thank you for this chain. I'm never giving it back. And yeah!
All right. No more yeehaws on the program after this.